doing research here. It's good to know the story. In 2006, Condoleezza Rice asked us for two things. One, to make a relation with Hamas. Two, to encourage Hamas to participate in the election. And this request came from our friends. So we have done so, and we have encouraged Hamas to engage in the election. And guess what? They won. Next day they've been attacked. This is how the relation. But what is the good of this relation is that we can facilitate a peace process. We've been helpful so many times in preventing, a worse casualty in each war Israel started over Gaza. On the other hand, Gaza is not only Hamas. Gaza, there is 1.8 million Palestinians living there. They are in an open roof jail, if I may call this. And they are sieged from 360 degrees. And these people needs someone to, assist them. And this is exactly what Qatar is doing. If you go to Gaza today, you will see roads, hospitals, housing after the last war is being rebuilt. You will see schools. And this is, you will see Qatar behind this. I can say proudly that no one in Gaza now, almost, but Qatar. We work with the United Nations. We try to facilitate the logistic from everywhere we can to let these people feel that they still have hope, to keep their hope.
In regards to the resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, Your Excellency, the United States has been the main mediator between Israel and Palestine since the Madrid Conference since 1991. And in that regard, there hasn't been substantive progress. We still don't see a resolution of the conflict. We still don't see the two-state solution. And recently, Mahmoud Abbas, the leader of the Palestinian Authority, in his United Nations General Assembly address, commented and said that at this point in time, Palestine does not view the Oslo Accords as legitimate anymore. With that regard, how do you believe Qatar's relationship with the United States can affect and should affect the Palestinian-Israeli peace process?
Well, I think the United States has a big role to play on this, and we depend heavily on the role of the United States on moving this peace process forward. But as I told you, it's not only the United States. Everyone who is encouraging this peace process is looking for a partner. And as I told you earlier, we cannot see a partner yet. We are open. We want this peace process to happen, and I'll tell you more. These two people, if they live side by side in a peace, I am sure they will do great things because they are both people are intellectual. They can do a lot if we reach to a point where we have this peace process go through and the two-state is happened.
Okay, so now we're going to be discussing His Highness the Emir's speech at the United Nations General Assembly earlier this week. So in Monday's speech at the UNGA, His Highness the Emir stated bilateral relations between Qatar and Iran are evolving based on common interests and good neighborliness. How does Qatar see its role in resolving Arab-Iranian differences following the Iran nuclear deal?
This is what I have mentioned earlier, that the best way to solve our issue in the region is by dialogue. Without any mediator, we can engage Iran. GCC 6 countries can engage Iran directly and have a direct dialogue to solve all the issue which worries both sides. And at the same time, everyone are entitled to put his concern on the table. If you don't do this, then this will be dragged for a long time. The best way and the short way is to sit face to face and solve the issues pending. This is why His Excellency called a dialogue. He welcomed if this dialogue will happen to be done. You have tough questions, guys.
In His Highness the Emir's speech, he also offered to host a meaningful dialogue to calm differences that underlie key issues in the Middle East. So our question is, how does Qatar see its role as a mediator in dealings with Iran, given its strong ties with Saudi Arabia?
Well, Qatar have good experience and good reputation of being a mediator. We have so many good stories to talk about. We have done the 2006 and then 2008 in Lebanon. We have the Djibouti Al-Syria issue is in Qatar played. We have Darfur. We have so many successful stories, and because we believe the best way to solve these issues are by this type of dialogue. So this is why we called for the dialogue.
And now moving on to a more sports-related thing. Your Excellency, we had a lot of sports fans in the audience, I guess, because we received a great number of questions on the World Cup.
I have tickets for you.
So with regards to the World Cup, Your Excellency, international human rights groups such as Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International have raised concerns about the conditions of migrant workers in Qatar under the kafala system. And with regards, and keeping in mind the hosting of the World Cup and the construction that's been going on, massive amount of construction with large investment, how has Qatar addressed or is going to address the concerns that have been raised by the international community?
First of all this construction you see in Qatar and the development is not because of 2022. We have a vision for 2030, and all this development in Qatar to shift Qatar from an energy-dependent state to a knowledge-based economy needs a lot of work and a lot of sweat. We thank all the nationality who are helping us in Qatar, all the expats who is helping us to develop our country. And we have obligation to look after them. So if you imagine Qatar 20 years ago with 300,000 people, today we're talking about 2.8 million. And this 2.8 million need a lot of investment in infrastructure to accommodate this number, like schools, hospitals, road, and so on. And we are trying our best to keep up, to make the stay of our guests who are helping us in developing our country comfortable. So alongside comes the legislation to accommodate the new, so and this is what we are doing. We were in the ministerial cabinet 2 weeks ago. We passed a law for this what's so-called kafala, and the residency permits of of the work in Qatar, and it will be endorsed soon by His Highness the Emir. In the second hand, we feel that every time they link 2022 with the World Cup is not fair. What we think is all this passion against Qatar on the 2022 FIFA Cup comes because there is somewhere, somehow, somebody cannot digest that a small country like Qatar in the Middle East, Muslim state, have such a tournament. On the other hand, we see that we have from Morocco to Oman, if you see the youth rates, they are almost 80% are youth rate. Sorry about the statistic, don't quote me exactly. Almost they are youth, and they deserve, in our region, they deserve to have such a tournament in the Middle East and for an Arab state. So we see that this campaign is not fair. This one, I would like to invite President, your team, maybe I can headhunt them there better, and the audience to come to Doha, and we will give you an access to every place you want to go and check if what I'm saying here is right or not.
I think I can speak on behalf of everyone who will accept that.
I will stand ready to bring you on at the same time, but don't come in the summer, please.
So will Qatar take any short-term measures in order to relieve elements within the international community of certain mistrust that has risen in regards to the World Cup?
Well, this is, I think, if you go and check Qatar file, we had we represent the best five, and this is why we want the tournament. FIFA issue does not comes with the Qatar winning. It is 25 years old story of FIFA investigation and wrongdoing investigation. This is even before we think that we are going to compete for the World. But the thing I want to assure you that Qatar 5 has no wrongdoing whatsoever. We represented the best 5, and this is why we won simply.
So next we'll be moving on to some questions
But
about...
don't ask me on footballs, the teams, and soccer.
No worries. Next we'll be moving on to socioeconomic policy.
This is
So,
good.
a little bit different. Qatar has emerged into one of the largest investors in global assets thanks to its sovereign wealth fund, the Qatari Investment Authority. Do you view this strategy as a foreign policy tool for Qatar?
Well, I mentioned earlier about our 2030 vision and moving from being fully depending on the energy sources to be economy, knowledge-based economy. Alongside comes our generation investment. All this investment is in the benefit of the coming generation of Qatar. And because in the end of the day, we want to keep our vision on good health, good education available for our new generation. So it has nothing to do with our being political. We have a vision, and we have a milestone for our vision. This is why we diversify our investments. So when the new generation come and the oil and gas is depleted, then they can still continue at the same standard they are now living in.
So economic diversification and the transition to renewable energy, renewable sources of energy have been identified as a priority by the Qatari government. How will this affect the country's foreign policy in the coming years?
Again, this is, as I just said now, but for that reason we have created QSTP, Qatar Scientific Technology Park. We have engaged all our partners, like the United States, we have engaged, for example, ExxonMobil and so on, to help our people to develop themselves so that they become creative and innovators. Again, someone would like to link this to be a political tool to Qatar, but mainly it is for our people. We are doing this for the prosperity and continuity of prosperity of our people.
So your country is one of the largest donors of art in the world, with an increasing amount of museums being opened. There's been a major push towards making Qatar into a major tourist destination. Do you think this will diminish and threaten your country's native culture?
No, not at all. In fact, this will enrich our culture. Qatar is a diversified culture, welcoming country. And if you see a wider look to the type of art and museum we have, one of which is the Islamic Museum. And this speaks about our history. In fact, we see it the contrary. We see that it's enriched our culture.
And before we move on to the last kind of concluding part of the questionnaire session, Your Excellency, question on Libya with regards to Qatar's involvement in Libya. So Qatar has also hosted negotiations with General Haftar, who's in control of the eastern part of the country. But at the same time, what is your vision for resolution of the Libyan conflict, given that there's some parts controlled by Daesh, some by the opposition, some by the Haftar government?
Tell me the part about Haftar again.
So you had mentioned in your interview that you had worked with Haftar previously and conducted negotiations. Qatar has engaged with General
It's the
Haftar.
contrary.
You have that?
Oh, it's the contrary. Qatar has big issue with Haftar in the state. Let us, I'll give you a quick sight on Libya. When when the people of Libya have started their uprising, and we had to come with our friends, you know, and one among which is the United States, to get a resolution so we can interfere quickly and to protect them before he destroy Benghazi, if some of you are following the situation. Then at that time, the people in Libya does not have a head. They were, you know, groups here and there. So we have to work hard to help all these groups individually and try to bring them together. But then when they choose their first government, Qatar automatically switched to deal with this government. Now there is a negotiation going between the United Nations by Leon Bernardino. He's doing a good job, and he's trying to create a national government, a national unity government. And we all support this for sure. The only thing is that we are opposing is Haftar being in the scene, because we believe he killed his own people. He started to bombard the civilian, and the people in Libya will not accept him. So while we are in a process of getting to a political solution, a bloodless political solution, we don't want to replicate what is happening in Syria. That one man, only one man, who killed 300,000 people in Syria, we cannot remove to make Syria stable. Or we are repeating the same situation in Libya, God forbid. So if he is out, then we might save a lot of life among the Libyans. This is where we stand in Libya today.
And the concluding section of our question and answer session with Your Excellency is something that we call the Marcel Proust questionnaire. Marcel Proust, one of the notable French writers of the 20th century, he had actually prepared a questionnaire where he, whenever he had a guest, he used to sit down with them and ask questions on a personal, so to say, communication level. So the first question is kind of ideal, so to say, but what is your vision of an ideal peaceful Middle East?
The Middle East deserve stability. They have a lot to give to the world. But I think if we respect in the Middle East one thing, our privacy, and if we respect our neighborhood, and if we stop interfering in the other internal affairs, I think we will have the Middle East we will all dream of, with a peace process completed by two states. Then it will be a prosperous Middle East.
So what aspect of Qatari culture do you wish Americans knew more about?
He didn't have this in his question. We included it as a question.
Well, we have so many things in common with the American in our principles and culture. We both like justice, and we both like freedom of speech, which we have been hammered in the past 2 years of having such freedom of speech.
Which historical personality do you associate yourself with?
Do I associate myself with, or he's a model to me? I cannot associate
Whichever you prefer.
a model. There is a model, but I cannot associate myself. I see myself still too far to be associated with good people or great people who have, But there is. I have a model. Is the founder of the State of Qatar is a model of mine. His principle, his caring, and I believe he is my model.
What do you hope to achieve most as Foreign Minister of the State of Qatar?
Self-peace.
That's a good answer.
Time to sleep.
What is your personal motto?
Patience is the shortest, way to success.
And final question of our discussion. His Highness the Emir has always stressed the importance of education in making sure that there's sustainable growth and progress in society. Given that our audience today is mostly comprised of students who are very eager to learn more about Qatar, what advice would you give to our students present today?
Before I give you this advice, because His Highness the Emir is interested in education, I am so scared to lose my chair of my, young colleagues here. They are well educated, but they are threatening you every day. But I will tell you something, that you have a great university you are studying in, so please make sure that you get the best tool, because you will need them out there. It's tough there. So get the best tool from this university to help you out.
With that, on behalf of New York University and Modern Nations, thank you very much for your time, and we have a small activity coming. So with that, thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we appreciate so much remarks. My name is Diane Yu, the Deputy President of New York University. I apologize I couldn't be here at the very beginning, but I heard 90% of what you said, and I think the whole audience appreciates your honesty, your candor, and your sense of humor. I mean, don't go in the summer, by the way. I have been to your lovely country and enjoyed.
Don't tell me in the summer.
No, it was actually in the spring, and it was delightful. The people were friendly, the food was fantastic, and I think you will be wonderful hosts, I hope, for the rest of the world. But we do appreciate so much your participating in this Model UN Global Leaders series. As you know, NYU and its students and faculty are very proud of being part of a global network university, and your leadership and your guidance in a region that is critically important to the entire world's security is very, very valuable to us. Also, please thank the President of the Model UN, Mr. Azimi. Also, Ambassador Grace, and also the Director Rahman. Please thank them also for their efforts. Thank you very much again, because your leadership example, I think, will be something that students especially will remember for a very long time. Thank you again for honoring us.
And next time when you come, please bring them with you.
Okay. Okay.
With the cameraman, please.
With the cameraman also. Very good. Thank you so much for gracing us.
Thank you very much.
Guys, there's baklava outside, right over here on this side, if you guys could just go get a piece. Thank you, thank you. He's very well prepared. I was really worried that we were going to throw him on. Some of the questions were from the beginning.
She fucked it up completely. She was like, I'm gonna dumb it down.
No, yeah, she emailed it to me. She's like, so I dumbed it down a bit, and I was like, that's a good idea.
We'll probably send them out Thursday night.